logic, so...
Looks like we are now underway. Let's see what we have in our first chest. Boots in Link's house, and I see... what was that? Was that a big key or a map to Ganon's tower?
I think it was a compass to Ganon's tower, actually. So Alucard following kind of the standard open mode routing. Meanwhile, Swerb looks like, and Dr. Bob are looking like they're setting up Houlihan.
Yeah, looking like they're all setting up Houlihan except for Alucard.
Well, and that's... oh, Teraunce is actually going on his way over to Kakariko at this point in time.
Uncle having a useless map to Hyrule Castle. At least it's out of the way, though.
But now Alucard is also checking the sanctuary area. We'll see Teraunce. Ooh, and bomb crabs. I think Teraunce is okay with that. That'll help out here directly.
You either want money or bombs, and that's a good thing to see.
Absolutely.
What do we have here in the Lumberjack Cave? Just a piece of heart. Won't be seeing that!
Is this even rando? Come on. Alright, we did see Alucard pick up the Bonk Rocks in the meantime. Made a quick check there, and that was a small key to Dark Palace, which is nice. And both Dr. Bob and Swerb are just going right to the maze game, not checking it. We're gonna see what we have.
That's actually not a bad play, considering A, you have boots so you can save a bomb, and B, it's Keysanity. That's kind of a standard play.
And it's a bomb capacity upgrade, but Teraunce finds our Moon Pearl early, just kind of sitting in the forest. You know, just sitting there.
Don't need too much more for Dark World access. Let's see what's in the Thief's Hut. Just a big 20.
Well, we say just, but Teraunce is going to need as much rupees as he has. He's the only, he and Alucard actually avoided, so they're sweating this bottle vendor money right
I just saw the flute on Swerve's side.
Yep, there it is. That's a nice pickup. Flute in Kakariko. And Alucard and Teraunce are entering Blind's Hut just about hand in hand.
Let's see what we find.
Hook shot.
That's always a good thing to have. I love it.
And then a bunch of rupees.
Can't turn that down because it's Zora money.
Absolutely, and this is gonna come in at an interesting point in time. Now, Alucard has, and I believe Swerb is also going to set up a point where he's going to have enough money that he could potentially go ahead and go right to Zora if he wanted to, because of that Houlihan room.
Key to Dark Palace in the well. That's two
keys
now.
Yeah, already.
And a bottle vendor having a map of Thieves Town. Saw a key to, I believe, Turtle Rock there. And I couldn't get that last one. It might have been a rod.
It looked like the ice rod, actually. My goodness. This is not Kakariko Village, ladies and gentlemen. This is Stactorico Village.
Why not Value Village?
Because people make fun of me of saying the word value all the time anyway. All right, so we're cleaning up some of these other etc. Kakariko locations, but all told, in the greater Kakariko area between just south of the village and up in the Lost Woods, we found Hookshot, Moon Pearl, Ice Rod, Flute, and then boots that were in Link's house. Uh, this is a nice start to this seed.
Question is, what's next? Do you go for Eastern and Sahasrara, or do you make the move for Death Mountain?
You know, I've had too many seeds where Death Mountain holds something and people wait for Mitts. I would go ahead and go straight to Death Mountain at this point in time. But that's just me, and I'm also 1 and 2 along with everyone else, so maybe we'll see that.
Hey, you have a better record than me. Consider that.
All right, so Alucard already released the Swag Duck. I was gonna maybe try to write some Swag Duck lyrics to honor Dr. Bob, but I didn't get around to writing them within 6 minutes of the run.
I don't think anyone wants to hear us sing right now, anyway. Do you, chat?
Don't ever ask chat if they want us to embarrass ourselves. They will always say yes.
I'm already embarrassing myself. I'm here.
This is true. See, there you go. All right, so we have Alucard going ahead and doing still the South Hyrule route. Gonna check the dam location. Swerb checking Bonk Rocks as well. Bloomerang. We have a soggy Bloomerang for us. Teraunce also going ahead and doing the blind maze pull. Not going to find anything here. He's going to be a little bit upset with himself, I think.
Alucard doing the mini Molderm game, cave. He's gonna have an easy time with that hook shot.
Going ahead and picking up the rupees while he can. Alucard, I think, is thinking Zora money at this point in time. He's close to that magic 500 rupee count. If that mini Moldorm wouldn't quit trolling him.
You think if he gets enough, he'll fake flipper? Oh, blue mail.
That's a nice pickup.
And our first sword.
Hey, that's a nice pickup, absolutely. That definitely makes the escape a little bit more plausible for these runners as well. I know a lot of people try to avoid doing the escape until they have a better weapon that they can kill those guards with other than bombs, but that certainly puts that in play. And Alucard making use of the boots, getting over to the Ice Rod Cave very, very quickly. Question in chat was, do we know what the stun prize is yet? And we do not. None of these runners have actually used the stun prize. And a Master Sword!
Well, that lasted long. I thought we were going to be going a bit longer with just Fighter Sword. But less than 10 minutes in, we have a Master Sword. We can at least beat Ganon.
Hey, already. So we have a little bit of route divergence. We have Dr. Bob going over here and checking Agina's cave, while Alucard did end up going up. He's doing a small sequence break to get the old man, but he is up on Death Mountain at this point in time.
Let's see if it leads to something big. Map to Turtle Rock on Bobtastic's side.
Yeah, that's unfortunate there for poor Dr. Bob.
It's at least information.
That's true. And, oh, Teraunce still has not yet picked up his Pegasus boots yet. He has not even stopped at Link's house, but he's still fluting all over. He's gonna be missing those boots while everyone else is there.
Looking like Swerb is making the fake flipper play. A small key on the island, in the lake island.
Yep, that'll be a good point, though. Runners will eventually have to come back for that.
Well, we don't know yet.
I mean, I can imagine them going out of their way for that key, probably trying to route that together with Ice Palace if they don't need another key for another location.
Hobo having
the fire rod? What?
Does anyone want to guess that maybe Turtle Rock is a pendant at this rate?
I mean, we're still a long ways from Turtle Rock. We still are going to need both mitts and the hammer and the cane before we're ready to say that. And the bow! Oh! The bow is on Spectacle Rock.
We need a mirror and fast.
Shoutouts to our restreamer DeathStar175 for generating the seed. Death Star, can you make sure to generate my seed tomorrow night? I'm just saying that now. I just want to put that out there.
I thought bribery doesn't get you anywhere when doing tournaments like this.
It's not bribery, it's just making an easy request is all I'm doing.
Swerve only finding the other useless map in Keysanity, the map of GT. We know where it is!
And I had no idea where GT was. Thank God we found that map.
Swerve not letting us have a look at what was on the Zora ledge. Just headed straight there.
Also interesting to note that the fire rod is flippers locked. So,
That's a good point.
I'm hearing from chat that Alucard did get a glove upgrade. I have not seen a glove upgrade unless it's in that first part of.
He was just in the Paradox Cave, so it was probably there.
I mean, it's possible, and it's Alucard has remained in logic. See, I'm telling you, I mean, that's the play that you make, is if you have access to East Death Mountain, you go to East Death Mountain, especially sub 15 minutes.
Let's see if Bob or Teraunce decides to let us see the Zora Ledge item. This could be huge if Swerb skips over it. No, Teraunce is moving on.
I don't think Teraunce actually had the money. Dr. Bob does. And it flashed on the screen for just a half second, so unfortunately I did not get to see what it was.
Chad is claiming it's a key.
And we see Alucard actually over in the eastern area at our first big key to Desert Palace. Uh-oh.
And a hammer! Oh.
That's
Dark World.
That is Dark World access. That is also access to Tower of Hera. Swerb going ahead and routing in this first treasure chest in Aga's Tower. Swamp Palace, Green Pendant. There's some flippers! That is so trolly for the flippers.
So they wanted you to get both swords from the South Shore to get to the tower to grab the flippers to get the fire rod. Wow.
Okay, so that I think is going to troll our runners quite a bit here. I don't know. I mean, some people have been routing that one in Keysanity just because something can be there when you can. That is significant, though. I don't know if there's a ton of runners that are going to route that together.
I don't know. I'm still compelled to say the Mire at this point is going to troll us.
Well, we have Swerb going ahead and doing the full escape route. Meanwhile, Alucard is in Eastern Palace. Wonder what's going on. Teraunce is climbing Death Mountain right now.
And evidently, the green pendant today is Swamp, if I have it right.
Yep, Swamp Palace.
Green pendant Swamp is not a fun thing to see, especially probably in a mode with like Keysanity.
I mean, if you think about it this way, we already have access to. The only thing that we're missing for full access to Swamp Palace is the Swamp Palace small key, and then the Mire. And Zelda's chest had the validation arrow, the one single arrow that some people say validates your run. It doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. But we like to say it does.
If it makes people and pleases if it makes people just feel more satisfied at the end and chat happy, whatever, right?
Pretty much at this point in time. Alucard, remember it is technically a sequence break if you are doing dark rooms without the lamp. The logic does not require it. Now, in Keysanity, I mean, you're absolutely rewarded for doing sequence breaks because otherwise everything can troll you for days. So, Swerb, Teraunce, and Dr. Bob all up on Death Mountain now.
Meanwhile, Alucard's doing the back end of Escape now, getting those 3 chests.
Not a bad idea. Lots of Light World still opened up to him, even though he does have Dark World access. There is a big key to Ice Palace, a small key to Ganon's Tower, and 50 groups.
I think it's finally time to start cracking open the Dark World.
Yep, and it looks like that's what Alucard is heading right now to do. So this is everyone's next favorite game, other than guessing where Ganon's Tower is. Will Hype Cave be hyper dud? Any predictions, dude?
You know, with the way that's going, I think it's gonna be disappointment. Sorry, folks.
All right, so Crazy is saying disappointment. I'm gonna give it as maybe a C- cave. I think there's gonna be something that will be okay. But everything else, yeah.
Well, that's not a promising start.
No, it's really not.
The lamp, a piece of heart, more bombs. Yeah, I'd call that a disappointment. Sure, you got the lamp, but that.
I mean, lamp at least gives us some interesting logic knowledge at that point in time. And, oh, Thieves Town is a pendant. And Alucard getting the knowledge that Dark Palace and Ice Palace are our crystals 5 and 6. And it's interesting, right now, only Swerb has found the flippers, which puts Fire Rod in logic. Alucard is kind of being led all over the place right now. We'll see where he decides to end up going at this point in time. He has access to the full Dark World at this point in time, except for Dark Death Mountain. But man, those flippers are going to troll him for a bit. Dr. Bob does find another pod small key in the back of Escape. Looks like he's taking a death warp now.
It's 3 now by my count, if I have it right.
Yeah, 3 keys. We don't have the big key yet, but 3 keys and hammer certainly makes pod a little bit more attractive. And Teraunce finally picking up his boots 20 minutes in. He might be kicking himself a little bit there.
A bottle of green goo at the Lake of Ill Omen from the Catfish on Alucard's side.
And that is our first bottle. That actually opens up Sick Kid in the light world. Should be interesting to see if he has anything for us. Dr. Bob is getting ready to get his flippers, and he'll be happy to see that. And yeah, Alucard's immediately turning in that bottle, so we're going to see what is making Sick Kid sick. It's just $20. Zuzon does ask in chat, flippers have to be required to see. Fire Rod blocks 2 dungeons, flippers blocks Fire Rod. I mean, even beyond that, we know that Ice Palace, by logic, does require the flippers, and that's one of the 5/6 crystals. So, yes, you're right. Absolutely. Flippers are required to see. Alucard doing his fake flipper trick. If only he knew where the flippers were. And Swerb is... Where's Swerb going? Oh, Swerv's been up Death Mountain, so he has his hammer. He's going to be going to the Dark World from this side.
Swerb diving straight into Skullwoods. See if these chests immediately pay off.
I mean, this is kind of a very popular early check as soon as you get Dark World access, just because Skullwoods, for whatever reason, seems to have the value, and that's a vanilla key!
Is this even randomized? Come on, man! Well, at least that isn't randomized.
No, and Swerb is doing the smart logic at this point in time. He knows that the other treasure chest, if he went the south route, is guaranteed to be a key to prevent a soft lock. So by grabbing that particular key, he knows he can save a whole lot of heartache by going through that Gibdo spike room. All right, so Swerb is the only one doing anything at this point in time that we haven't seen yet. So kind of paying attention to him. Meanwhile, Alucard is going up and finally going to be spending his roops. And chat points out an interesting fact. We do have the Fire Rod already from Swerb. It's in logic. We might be seeing a 7-heart Mothula fight. This might be interesting.
We could see a lot of death if we're not careful.
Ooh, and the cape.
Grabbing the magic refill from that bomb hole to the right. You rarely see that room.
No, but when you're about to do Mothula, and it does look like Swerv's heading that direction, you want full magic even entering that place. So, nice heads-up play there by Swerb.
Kind of surprised he didn't let the Wallmaster grab him to get more quickly out.
I mean, there's enough orange grabby hands in the world right now. I don't think we need another orange grabby hand myself.
I could say something to that, but I'm going to be polite and not.
All right, Teraunce is over here, and he is going to be picking up his flippers as soon as he finishes up with these spike chain folks. All right, so Swerb, he's actually going to be doing a 4-heart, almost very little magic Mothula fight.
I predict death.
I mean, it's a rough fight no matter how you sway it. So, I mean, everyone hopes and prayers to Swerb if he's able to pull this off.
Get your F's ready, chat. He's doing good so far, though. If only Moth would quit hugging the top.
Oh, getting beams. He's down to 1 heart.
Oh! Down he goes!
It's all right. He's going to take some time to go ahead and pick up this particular treasure chest that he skipped over earlier.
Yeah, but now he's gonna have to grind up magic, and that's never a fun thing to do in a place like Skullwoods.
Just a heart container. We see both Dr. Bob and Teraunce in dark rooms right now.
Looking like Swerb took an intentional death to get back to the entrance.
And he's doing it. He's going to go ahead and, oh man, he's getting ready to head into this Gibdo room with no magic. Oh, feels bad, man. This is the least fun thing to ever do.
Yeah, I've tried to make this play before on like less than 10 hearts and normal magic, and it's not fun. Like, I've given up on seeds that had me do this just to progress.
Well, and yeah, I think if I were... Oh, and he missed a shot, too. I don't know if he has the magic to be able to do this now.
I'm kind of surprised he hasn't gone hammer strats on these Gibdos.
Yeah, this is definitely... And he's letting the orange grabby hand grab him. No means...
Maybe that was intentional to try and respawn the enemies and get more magic.
I get the feeling that it is. I can't say for sure, but yeah, I think that was intentional. Oh, and Scooby D in chat does point out, you know, the stun prize is a small magic refill.
They don't... Well, only one of our... Swerb doesn't have the blue boomerang, though.
Oh, and Hookshot doesn't actually stun them. Yep.
Like, he could have... Though there is a mini Helmosaur and a Hard Hat Beetle in that previous room before Moth, he could stun those.
All right, well, Swerb, round 2. Fight! Man, that Mothula is just hugging those spikes.
But he gets it. What will he get for his efforts, though? He gets a small key to the Palace of Darkness. That's 4, I believe, now?
That's 4 that we found. A lot of pod small keys at this point in time. So GG Swerb with our first crystal at 29 minutes in.
I was expecting a lot later. Meanwhile, Bob with the digging game. What do we get? A small key to Skull Woods. Well, that's kind of superfluous. I can pronounce.
Alucard's also on Mothula right now. He's tanking a whole lot more damage than... But he does have a bottle of blue goo.
We have a map check, and I think one of the 5-6 crystals was Palace of Darkness.
Yep, we should already know that both the 5-6 crystals are Pod and Ice Palace, based on what the bomb vendors told us.
And Turtle Rock is also a crystal from what I saw on Bobtastic's screen, too.
All right, good follow-up fight there by Alucard. All right, so Swerb now kind of in this greater Thieves Town area. Gonna go ahead and take a dive. We don't have the big key to Thieves Town, but we can at least check these first 4 chests, which is a little bit nice.
Who knows? With the way this is going, maybe we'll find the big key in here.
I mean, sure, why not?
We have literacy. We can read a book.
And that's our full access to Desert Palace, actually. We still missing a small key, but, you know, between the book and the big key and our fire source, we can go ahead and clear out Desert Palace if we want. And
that's setting up another death warp.
And the shovel.
I'm not sure I can dig that thing.
Ooh.
Hey, you were making them. We were all making jokes like that before we went on the air.
I know. All right, so Alucard and Swerb going into the chess game. I think we've already seen that this is just a whole lot of nothing. Oh no, but it's a big key
to Mire. We might need that.
So the items that are really kind of trolling us at this point in time, I would like to see a lift upgrade at some point, but you're right, that mirror is also trolling us a bit.
Bobtastic wasn't sure where to go from here.
See, Dr. Bob does have... I don't think we've actually seen Dr. Bob go into the Dark World yet, have we?
And if he was gonna go to the Dark World, why would he go from 8? Might be making the Zora play.
Swerb doing the digging game as well, while Alucard has to set up a fresh death warp. Oh man. Swerb doing this south route now, just heart container on Stumpy. And
another small key to Palace of Darkness on Bobtastic's side. That's 5 now we've seen.
Everything on this seed is pointing us pretty hard towards Pod, and none of these runners are heading that direction.
I can't blame them. They want the bow, and they know they need the mirror before they get the bow. Is it entirely possible, though, that it's a required double dip because the mirror is in there?
And not only is it entirely possible, it's looking likely at this point in time. The mirror is blocking a lot of access for us right now. So Swerb, second person with his lamp. I'm really kind of surprised that we've had Dark World access for so long and still only 2 people have checked Hype, or 3 people have checked Hype Cave. Dr. Bob heading up into Skullwoods, which we know doesn't necessarily have anything, but everyone who's been there so far has gotten their crystal.
We're gonna have a Haunted Grove check now from Swerb. What does this have?
Oh, it's a key. It's our 6th pod key, isn't it? No, Turtle Rock. Okay.
Of course not. I would be shocked that you wouldn't be banned right here if you somehow knew it was a pod key.
I mean, I've made worse calls. I'll say that.
Meanwhile, Swerb immediately making the play to Desert Palace. Desert Ledge not holding much of anything. I believe just a container.
Yep. Alucard is going back into the castle, and maybe he's finally going to get his flippers? No, he's never done the escape portion. Wow.
So there was a map check on Teraunce's side, and it looks like Thieves is a pendant.
Yep, that red pendant. So all the action right now at Swerb, everyone else is running over other locations, and hey, a heart container on the torch. I'll take that.
Hey, it's free life. If it was a piece of heart, I could understand them leaving it there, but if it's a full container, why not? Small key to Mystery Mire and the big key chest for Desert.
Most worthless keys ever.
Oh, I disagree. They allow you to route better. Occasionally.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. They don't logically log anything, we'll put it that way. We glean no knowledge from them.
I think that was that the Sanctuary heart I saw that Swerve picked up from the Desert Ledge?
I indubitably believe it was. Sankheart. Meanwhile, Swerb is going right over to the Landmolus. Oh, Alucard is going the wrong way. He's going to go back and check this dark room in the sewers, but I'm hoping he knows flippers need to be the other direction, but he doesn't. So, meh.
Has this place been checked yet?
Yes, it has, and I think it's a whole lot of nothing, like a 10-arrow thing or something. Or no, it was another pod key.
Very nicely done on Swerve's side to get the quick kill on Lamulus. And it's a big key to Ganon's tower. That's the most important one to have.
Yeah, that's a nice pickup. So, ladies and gentlemen, whoever guessed 57, you won.
You were keeping count?
No, I just pulled a number out of someplace.
I was going to say, if you were keeping count...
I mean, I'm a nerd, but I'm not that big of a nerd.
Aren't we all nerds here?
Well, yes.
Some to a higher degree than others, of course.
All right, so Alucard getting ready to pull, yes, the flippers. So he's happy to see that. Kind of. We're still, the major action right now is blocking the Mire and the other lift upgrade.
Potentially also the Thieves Town Big Key.
Well, that could also lead us to action right now as well. You know, there is one place that logically we do have access to, but I've not seen any of our runners even make a move towards.
And that is...
Tower of Hera.
Oh yeah, you're right. They have the hammer. They would have to approach from the east, but they could do it.
It's in logic, and right now, I guess they don't have the Tower of Hera big key, so. But man, let's talk troll.
Okay, enlighten me.
Tower of Hera big key on Ether tablet right now that locks mirror and lift upgrade.
Can we talk pedestal too while we're at it?
Ooh, yes, let's talk pedestals. So we know for a fact that our the pendants so far are Swamp Palace and Thieves Town.
What does that rule out, basically?
Well, that absolutely rules out Mirror on the pedestal. And the big key to Thieves Town. So, The issue is that the other pendant can be on Misery Mire, it can be on Tower of Hera, or it can be on Eastern Palace, because we don't have the knowledge for any of those. Now, because Mirror is already blocking the Swamp Palace play, that means, we know where the bow is, so we know that bow can't be on there. Tower of Hera, nothing is really blocking us there except for that Tower of Hera big key.
Swerb almost it said no to the bottle there from the catfish.
Well, I'm glad he picked that up.
I think we still need to see what Mire is before we can really make any more rash decisions on whether or not pedestal could be having something. Because if Mire's a crystal, I think Kane could be there.
Well, and here's the important thing: if Mire is a crystal, then here's what that opens up. That opens up Kane could be on the pedestal. The lift upgrade, the Titansmiths could be on the pedestal.
Then again, it also hinges on what ice is too. Or wait, ice has already been confirmed. Never mind.
Yeah, ice is confirmed crystal at this point in time. And we see Swerb going over here, making a play into pod. Uh-oh.
You know what? I like this. But we don't know how far we can make that dive in the Palace of Darkness quite yet.
Meanwhile, we have Dr. Bob and Teraunce over here in the Village of Outcasts area, or Thieves Town as it is. Nothing really progressing us at this point in time. So again, the action's on Swerve's end. Alucard, meanwhile, is getting ready to do his Land Mollusk fight.
Nothing extravagant yet from Swerb.
And the problem is, Palace of Darkness is a little bit torturous if you don't already have the mirror to be able to mirror out. So we're going to take our time. And this hurts Swerb a little bit, having to burn that key, but it may be logically required.
Yeah, logically you're supposed to have all 6 keys to beat this dungeon, although if you're really good, you could use as little as 4. Swerb making the football moves around that Helmosaur.
I like to call them ballet moves myself. Just dance around.
That particular Helmosaur is a pain in the butt to me. When I've run Randomizer, because it's always gotten me knocked off, and we have red mail.
It's nice. Not thrilling, but nice.
Yeah. Nothing progressive yet, though.
Nope. And Swerb does burn his last key to go and get this treasure chest. I wonder, is he going to attempt his hammer yump?
Doesn't look like it. No, he's trying to double back to. He might be trying to get that back end of the Terrapin's room.
Yep.
What do we got? A single green rupee.
And that's insulting a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Meanwhile, Alucard looks like he's making the play on Tower of Hera. Ooh.
I like this. Now that we know that Palace of Darkness has come up empty, why not?
I mean, why not? Swerb is getting ready to set up his hammer yump. The only reason he's still in this dungeon is doing hammer yump, it looks like.
I'm kind of surprised he put it off until last. I would have... Then again, it makes sense because you're just going to save and quit out anyway.
Absolutely. All right, so Alucard going over here, going to check the ether tablet. I'm excited. I think this ether tablet is trolling us with something. I really feel it.
Well, let's see. What is ether got for us? It is a small key to Misery Mire. You were let down.
I am disappointed, son. Oh, and the Dead Rock trolling Alucard, too.
Wow. That's some insult to injury.
We see Mitts. Where were Mitts? Oh, Mitts were in the dark room. Oh my!
That's a second bottle on Alucard's side.
And all of a sudden, all that talk about Pod not having anything, and it had everything that we need.
Everything is a strong word, I'd say. I don't know if you could consider red mail, a progressive mail, and Mitts,
Mitts
everything.
Mitts is the key at this point in time, though. Mitts is our logic lock. It's all kind of bottlenecking around who goes to Pod to get the Mitts, because at this point in time, we've checked just about every other place that is Mitts locked. So Mitts being that far in Pod, all those Pod keys were showing us, yep, this was the way you needed to go.
Would it still technically be in logic to get that far if you had, if you did a jump like that?
Well, he did the jump, yes, but remember we've had 5 keys in logic at this point in time.
So logically, he would have been able to get there. It isn't a sequence break.
Absolutely. Which means if you have to dive in with the 5 keys to get Mitts, and then if the mirror is Mitts locked, and it certainly appears to be at this point in time, then we're looking at a required double dip into Pod.
I just realized something that we haven't seen yet, and now that we've seen Mitts, when are we going to see maybe a Mire play? Like, maybe check the Mire shed first, and if it has the medallion you need there, go ahead and go in.
I would be personally hesitant to dip into Mire until we had the cane.
I can understand that perfectly. But at this point, well, I guess there is ice now on the table.
Yeah, ice is on. I mean, so much has opened up. Ice is on the table. Let's see. We have Dark Death Mountain is on the table with its several treasure chests there. Hookshot Cave.
The first portion of Turtle Rock, basically?
No, still no cane.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But yeah,
Speaking of Turtle Rock, it is a Quake medallion for it.
And also interesting to note, we still don't have a medallion. This is
That could be interesting too. Depending on what Mire is, a medallion could be on pedestal too.
Dr. Bob did his hammer yump. He's going to be happy to find that there. Alucard's in the area.
We're doing the hookshot cave. We find a big key to Eastern Palace. We need that bow and fast. Well, correction. We need that mirror to get that bow fast.
Absolutely. The big question at this point, where is that mirror?
Swerb doing the Super Bunny Cave check. What are in these two chests? A big key.
And the cane.
Oh, the red cane!
So we got Big Key to Turtle Rock and Cane in Super Bunny Cave. I think this seed is trying to tell you something, Swerb. If only you had Quake.
Oh, bummer.
Dr. Bob is heading up in that direction immediately. Swerb looks like he's setting up. Ooh, this is going to be unfortunate. This is going to be the most hurtful spike cave check I've seen in a while.
It's technically in logic, though, because he has a cape and a bottle.
Yep. He's just got to be quick.
Oh, what a letdown! But he has a fairy. That's a relief. Must have been a fairy in that bottle he picked up in the Tower of Hera. And it's a small key to Turtle Rock. I think that's 3 now?
Yep, that's 3 keys to Turtle Rock. So, clearable. Still need that 4th key if you want to check that, super trolly, never know what you're going to get, vanilla big key location. And Swerb is going to be the first one into the Misery Mire area. We'll see what Mire has for us.
We'll also see its medallion. It is Ether. So, medallion is totally on the table for pedestal still.
Alucard went ahead and used a key. He did not hammer yump, which is fine because there's really nothing else necessary here. So at this point, it feels like the play is going to have to be Ice Palace.
Either Ice Palace or Turtle Rock.
Well, we can't get into Turtle Rock without Quake, so...
Oh,
yeah.
That's right. I keep forgetting that. Shame on me.
It's all right. It's all right. Yeah, we've checked a lot of these MITS-accessible locations. I mean, there's still a few one-off spots that we can get to at this point in time. We can check Jeremiah to see if he's going to give us anything, the Pig Cave. But those are, I can see someone might check those two over to Ice Palace, but Ice Palace really feels like the play at this point. Oh, Swerb going over and saying, what was that key?
Meanwhile, Bob quickly realizing, oh crap, I don't have that medallion. He wanted to go into Turtle Rock.
Alucard going through the hookshot cave, so both Dr. Bob and Alucard near sync right here.
Kind of looking a lot like maybe, oh, I don't know, Everything's in Ice.
And that's I mean, that's not unusual. We certainly have access to ice with the fire rod, and I think, yep, Swerb is heading there right now. Picked up some goo to be able to make sure we can get in there.
Meanwhile, Teraunce about to take on Lamulus. Alucard making the play for ice.
All right, let's see what this first treasure chest is in here. We do have one Ice Palace small key, so that'll be helpful to us.
It allows for better routing. It's a map to Skull Woods. That's... We don't need that anymore. We know what it is.
And now comes the portion of Keysanity where things start becoming useless to us.
Well, I'd imagine compasses are already useless to a fair amount of our runners here.
Oh, absolutely. But, you know, I found compasses are really actually pretty helpful to us commentators.
You're absolutely not wrong.
Dr. Bob getting through Spike Cave here.
Meanwhile, Swerb about to take on the double Stalthos room. Handles it beautifully.
I will say that is satisfying when you start to be able to get that consistently, that double Stalthos.
I don't know. I think it's a bit more satisfying when you get the Ice Palace bomb jump consistently, like we're about to see here. Looks like he's got it, and he does.
Very nicely done by Swerb.
Let's see how Alucard handles the double Stalthos room.
And I wanted to address something that is talked in chat. Scooby D says there's been some suggestions of adding crystals and pendants to the item pool so that bosses could drop 2 items with the extra to replace the crystal. There has been discussion about that, but my understanding in talking with some of the people who do the programming is that while pendants wouldn't necessarily be a problem, the crystals are, because of the extra cutscene that happens in the vanilla portion of the game. That interferes in some capacity with that extra cutscene and removing that with, you know, what everything that goes into.
We have a big key to Palace of Darkness on Swerve's side. I don't mean to interrupt you there.
No, I mean, that's absolutely fine. That's more important than explaining that sort of thing. Just letting you know, it's been talked about, but there's some programming things they're trying to work on, and that's why, because of that extra cutscene in the vanilla game that's attached to the crystal.
It sounds like it would maybe have potential for locking the game too. What does the King's Tomb have? We have Ether! We can go into Mire.
And that's in Logic too. That's one of those overworld locations that's at this point locked by the Titansmiths. Normally you can get in there with the Mire as well. And then he's delivering Jeremiah. So he Dr. Bob opted to do these overworld locations accessible from the Titansmith. Let's see what Jeremiah has for us. Oh no, guards, creepy. Well, yes, Mog is creepy.
Tempered Sword now in the Ice Palace.
Hey, that's nice. Swerb trying to work his way around and get back. I think he's got all the treasure chest locations at this point in time. And we have Quake.
He might end up being going back for that one last one.
Okay, so Swerb and Alucard both pulled Quake from the big treasure chest. That's our access to Turtle Rock.
I think we can officially say that maybe Pet is dead. Not much left on there that it could be.
It's on life support at the very minimum here.
Like, it would have to be either the mushroom, the powder, or the silver arrows at this point.
Or any of the other etc. junk, yes. We know where the bow is, and we know... I mean, we need the mirror to get the bow.
Swerb using his magic bottle to refill against the cold stare to break the shell.
Alucard is right there with them. Man, that was a nice cold stare kill by Swerb.
I hope you didn't blink because you could have missed it.
Dr. Bob, meanwhile, opening Gary's lunchbox, dedicated to these overworld locations. We didn't necessarily find... I mean, we found Quake in Ice Palace, but we didn't find much else beyond that. Oh, and Tempered, I suppose, yeah.
So I guess the play now, it seems like it's either got to be Mire or Turtle Rock now that we have the medallions here nailed down.
Well, here's the risk, and, you know, we have some extra knowledge that these runners don't have. Mire and Turtle Rock are both accessible and clearable, in all honesty, for all of these runners. However, Dr. Bob does not know about Quake being in Ice Palace, and Swerb and Alucard do not know that the Ether Medallion is in that King's Tomb. So they're both going to be following their respective routings at this point in time.
And I can't blame them either.
Swerb is going up here. This is an interesting gamble. He does not have the bow, but he does have the big key. So he's routing this for one treasure chest?
Unless he skipped the dark room. Looks like this is his first time here, though.
Okay, so I mean, this could be... He might be thinking that because most of Eastern is in that Sphere Zero location, that he might be missing something important. Teraunce now in pod. Teraunce is the only one at this point in time without the Titansmith, so this is the play that we know he needs to make. Alucard looks like he's making a beeline up for Turtle Rock, though. Oh no, Dr. Bob. Almost out of magic in this room.
He got it, though. And there's our mirror!
Oh my! That just blew this race wide open. Mirror in Mire is the play, and this is not good news for Alucard and Swerb and Teraunce. Who gets to Misery Mire? Because that mirror holds the bow. We know where the bow is. It's up on Spectacle Rock.
And now that they've all basically cleared Skull Woods, I don't think we're going to see a pet check now.
Oh no, and at this point in time, the only thing that can really be on the ped that's important to us are big keys for various locations. So I'm not terribly concerned about it. The interesting part will come in is that Alucard will be full clearing Turtle Rock, he's going to stop and get every single treasure chest he can. And if, for whatever reason, he doesn't necessarily find anything of value here, Bob will be able to full clear it in go mode, effectively, if the next time he goes up is in go mode. So this could be kind of a differentiating factor here between Alucard and Dr. Bob, and those two are racing against each other. Remember, Swerb is actually facing Teraunce, who looks like he's making sure that everything, he has his tracker going. I think he's tilted a little bit, wants to know where he needs to go. And Half Magic also in Misery Mire.
Ooh, that's a good thing to find.
We did have a map check at some point in time, and Tower of Hera is our last pendant.
So there's still potential for something in terms of a nice to have, but aside from anything else, Pedestal's pretty dead.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Because our big keys that we know we absolutely need: Ganon's Tower, we have Eastern Palace, we have Misery Mire, Turtle Rock, we have Swamp Palace is a green pendant, and we've not even entered yet because we've only got Mire. So that, and we don't even necessarily need the big key there. So yeah, I think Ped is dead. And Swerb is also making the Misery Mire play. He found Ether and made a beeline for it instead of going up to Turtle Rock. That'll save Swerb quite a bit of time. He doesn't know it yet. I will say that Swerb is going to have a slightly easier time on Vitreous here, because he does have Tempered Sword. Dr. Bob going through here with only the Master Sword. He did not go into Ice Palace.
Alucard wisely stealing the key from that pokey there so he doesn't have to go down the middle.
Oh, and Dr. Bob, because he's up here without the mirror, if I don't know if anything's necessarily going to be required in this particular Mimic Cave, but if something was, then that would really be unfortunate for Alucard.
Well, at this point, there can't be much in the Mimic Cave either.
True. Hang on a sec. So, we have our 3 keys to Turtle Rock, right?
We should.
We're in go mode.
At an hour and change?
At an hour and change. Ladies, I had to stop and think. It's like, okay, well, Eastern Palace, we now have the big key and the bow where we know it's at. Pod, we know, we can go ahead and get through it because with everything. Now, I think we're still missing a key because Dr. Bob didn't hammer yum. But then we have Misery Mire and Turtle Rock, which are full clearable because we have the big key and we have all the small keys required, and we have the Ganon Tower big key. Yeah, we're in go mode.
That means Bob hit it. Dr. Bob hit it first. Technically.
Well, I mean, he's not in go mode. I don't think anyone is technically in go mode. We're in commentator's no mode, at least.
We'll get there, folks. We'll get there.
At an hour 9 in, commentator's no mode is a little obscene for Keysanity, I'm gonna say.
Hey, maybe we'll be lucky and we'll see a very nice time from one of these fine runners.
Oh, Alucard went all the way through Turtle Rock, but he only had 2 Turtle Rock small keys.
That's not good.
So since he finds that last small key, he's looking for the mirror because he knows where the bow is, and then he's looking for that last small key, and I don't know which one he's missing. Oh, and we have Alucard setting up the fake powder glitch.
Must have found the mushroom in Turtle Rock.
Must have.
It's a big key to Tower of Hera. Well...
Oh no, I hope he doesn't go there. Alucard, don't go there. Dr. Bob did clear out Misery Mire. Swerb is about to do that as well. I didn't see what was dropped from Vitreous, but I don't think it necessarily matters at this point in time.
The 4th small key to Turtle Rock is a turn-in for the mushroom.
Oh my! So I mean that's good news for Alucard, regardless, and he bonks the wall because he's like, oh really?
Yeah, that is kind of head-scratching. That if you didn't route it right, you could. It was a required double dip.
Yep, and now Dr. Bob is going to be going up. Looks like he might be doing a North Hyrule check into the graveyard area, which we know is good because that's exactly where the mirror is. Oh no, that's where Ether is.
Ether was King's Tomb, I believe.
Yep, and that led Dr. Bob and Swerb over to Misery Mire, which has the mirror. Carissa also makes a very good point here, and this is something that, unfortunately, we don't necessarily do a very good job of tracking here, in part because it's just logistically impossible. In order to be in Go mode, they need to know what are the crystals and the pendants. Not everyone knows all of these things. We know because of various people feeding us the map information and map checks.
We do appreciate you guys, though. Shout-outs to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, everyone. But yeah, we don't know if they know this stuff. So they may not be operating as though they're in Go mode because they may not know if they're in Go mode.
Speaking of Go mode, I think we are finally officially in it because Swerb just got his bow.
Swerb got his bow, and he has his 3 Turtle Rock small keys. That's that. And he has his pod key, so he's going to route Eastern and pod together, and then Turtle Rock, and then he'll be on his way. So, yep, Swerb is in Go mode at an hour 14.
I'm just looking at his tracker, and it says he has 4 keys, though. Well, wait, has he gone in pod yet?
Yes, he has, because he has the mitts.
Okay. He needs then. I don't remember there being a 5th key in pod though. So maybe we're not quite there yet.
He saved a key though.
Okay.
And yeah, he's not doing that right side. He knows that he's in Go mode at this point in time. So here's the question. If you are Swerb right now and you know you're in Go mode, do you feel good about yourself right now? Or do you think, man, this was too easy, I've got to be behind?
You know, at an hour and 15 in, I'd be like, is this seed too good to be true? Did you do something with it, you guys?
The other runner, I mean, Dr. Bob, I can't quite tell how many Turtle Rock keys. He hasn't done Ice Palace yet, which is unfortunate for Dr. Bob because he needs to get his butt over to Ice Palace to get that, to get his Tempered Sword. But otherwise, I mean, everyone's looking really pretty good, all things said. And
Man,
Alucard...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it. I'm sorry.
No, please.
Alucard's going up to Turtle Rock to finish it off once he found his other Turtle Rock small key. He hasn't even thought about going to Mire. In part because I think he knows that the Ether Medallion is locking it. Oh no! No, he's going over. Oh no, he's going to Tower Para.
Oh dear. Meanwhile, looking like Dr. Bob's grabbing the floating island item. Was it a safety of some sort?
It was a key, I believe. And he doesn't know which key.
I guess we'll all learn in a moment. It is a key to Desert Palace. Oh no!
Oh no, Dr. Bob.
And he's making a beeline straight there.
Dr. Bob just, the one place he needs to go is Ice Palace, because that's where both Quake and his sword upgrade are. Come on, Doc, please.
Well, all hope isn't lost, because our bottom runners are racing each other, and they're both going complete opposite directions of where you should be going.
Meanwhile, Swerb finishes off Helmasaur and is going to be finishing off his Eastern Palace run with the Armos Knights.
Very excellent routing. It's always neat when you can do that sort of path.
Not a ton of places that you can do that too. You can do that with Misery Mire and Desert, and then Eastern Palace and Pod. But otherwise,
you could
no other places.
You could probably do it with Hera and T-Rock, even though it's a bit of a walk to both.
So Alucard, finding his pendant, still doesn't know where Ether is. Oh, goodness.
Everyone send Alucard your vibes. Tell him Ether in the King's Tomb.
Well, and keep in mind, Alucard, one of the first checks he did, because there are 3 locations that are very close together. He's already checked Bonk Rocks, and then there's the Graveyard Ledge along with King's Tomb. A lot of people don't even consider going to check King's Tomb until they have the mirror, because they route that King's Tomb and the Graveyard Ledge together. So I think Alucard, I don't know if he's having a brain spasm or not, but I just think he's not connecting that is a possible location to check. He's checking a lot of other spots. Teraunce, at this point, is checking King's Tomb, so that's going to be valuable information for him.
Swerb is now on to the Armos Knights. Let's see how he handles them.
With a machine gun, it looks like.
Could he do that again? I blinked. I think I missed it. No? Just me? Okay.
All right, so Alucard going in, and he's going to finish Turtle Rock. Oh, Dr. Bob. Dr. Bob.
Speaking of Turtle Rock, Swerb is on his way.
Okay, so Dr. Bob is Where's he going? No, he's floating away! No! Bob! Stay there!
What was that a small key to on the lake island?
It was the castle tower.
Oh no!
Alucard going through as well, Turtle Rock. Oh no, this is I hate it. I hate this because both of them, they are both missing just individual locations. Okay, here comes Bob. Bob's going to ice. Okay, whew.
And there was much rejoicing.
Yay. So Bob is on the right track. We know Ice Palace is going to have the Quake Medallion, which will get him into Turtle Rock. It will also finally give him his Tempered Sword upgrade, which Master Sword is nice, but Tempered Sword is a lot nicer.
Yeah, especially when you're dealing with the final phases of Ganon.
Alucard about to start his Trinex fight.
Starting with the Firehead, logical route. Ooh, doesn't start quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took too long to get going on that ice head, and it made a mess.
Luckily, it's a relatively easy mess to avoid there.
I don't know. I like to take care of the ice head first, just so it doesn't do that.
Alucard with a very nice Trinex fight, all things said.
Yeah, well done. Small key to the
Castle
other
Tower.
Oh dear. Well, we at least know that we're not.
He might think he has to get either the Ether Medallion or the Mirror from Castle Tower. I'm going to bet that Alucard's making a beeline to Castle Tower right now.
Looks that way. He's starting from Link's house.
Oh, Alucard. Oh, poor Alucard. Dr. Bob, meanwhile, working his way through Ice Palace. We know this is the right play for him.
We're going to see the Ice Palace bomb jump from him. Nope, doesn't look like it.
Well, when you have Kane of Samaria, Ice Palace bomb jump becomes less important.
You're not wrong.
I mean, it's still incredibly important to know, but it's less important.
Very nice bomb strats on Dr. Bob's side.
All right, so Alucard's going to be the first one to pull this second Castle Tower treasure chest. We know the first one was flippers, so it absolutely trolled us. Second one was just a compass. And
Maximum troll.
And there is the big key to Dark Palace in Ice Palace, so Dr. Bob will be able to get that and clear Dark Palace now. Oh no. Oh no, Alucard. Oh wait, no. Oh, Alucard. No, he doesn't have 5-6. So where are you going, Alucard?
He might be headed to Pod. He is headed to Pod.
Oh no. Well, I mean, it's a dungeon that he can complete.
He still doesn't have the bow. He has no mirror.
Yeah, he's still looking. Maybe he's maybe thinking he's getting trolled for days.
Meanwhile, Swerb handily taking care of Trinex. He'll be headed to GT very, very shortly.
Oh, Alucard, because he does have. I think he's just going to pick up the big treasure chest at this point in time because that's about all he can get. Oh, and getting knocked off the edge. This is... You know what this room reminds me of that Alucard's in? And this is going to be the opposite nerdy direction. Reminds me of the Oklahoma drill. If anyone ever played football and had to do the Oklahoma drill in practice. Go up the middle, knock someone over.
Unfortunately, I've never played football in my life. Unless you count Madden.
I'm going to presume that you're not alone in this particular chat room to say that.
I think that's a fair assumption.
In fact, I might be the only one in this room that's played football at any point in time, so...
Meanwhile, Swerb has begun his climb up Ganon's tower.
Oh no, and Dr. Bob, I think, finally realizes it. Or Alucard, I'm sorry.
I expect many frustration slashes and bombs. No? I was expecting more. You disappoint me.
Now he's going right there right now, though.
Yeah, I saw it when he was waiting for the flute.
That's efficient frustration slashes there, is what that was. Alright, and Swerb making his way through the gauntlet. Teraunce, meanwhile, is in the back end of Mire, so he's picked up his mirror. I feel bad. I've inadvertently been ignoring Teraunce at this point in time, and I need to play catch-up a little bit. Unfortunately, he's only got one crystal done. This will be his second crystal at an hour 28. So he's got some catching up to do in terms of the crystal progression.
At this point, it's not his fault that we've been ignoring him. It's just that more of the action's been everywhere else.
Yep, and I'm hearing from chat that Alucard did the frustration bird toss. You know, one thing you could say about Alucard and Dr. Bob, they do it for the people. Dr. Bob working his way now through Pod. It looks like he's on his way to the boss here.
This particular Wizrobe room. It looks deceptively simple, but oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's another one of those tricks that once you get it, you feel good about yourself. You're like, I've made it as a rando player now.
I still have a lot to learn. And I'm not even an NMG runner.
Teraunce at one heart. Oh no!
Does he have a fairy? He does.
Yes, okay.
Must have made that. He must have grabbed that bottle from Tower of Hera if he did.
Alucard getting his mirror, so he is now in go mode as well.
Swerb going out of his way to check those chests on the way up.
I think he's still hoping for silvers.
You know what? I can't blame him a little.
There's been a lot of discussion, at what point in time when you're in go mode but you don't have silvers, and I believe the prevailing logic at this point in time is if it's less than a 30 seconds to check aggregate for each treasure chest, then go ahead and check it because you will save so much time not having to do silverless.
Hey,
and to
look.
think he doesn't want Palace. What?
I think well, chat will be pleased.
Yeah, not everyone checks that last treasure chest, so. My God, Swerb. I mean, this is just an absolutely torrid pace that Swerb has been on. Hour 30, already at Aga 2.
Could have had a double there. Didn't get it, though. There's a double. Nothing doing that time. Ooh, almost had the triple.
Almost. Getting close.
Aghanim is down, and it's almost time to put on some bacon-covered nachos.
Yep, you can tell Swerb is feeling a little bit antsy with that bonk right there. Dr. Bob checking that last treasure chest. Dr. Bob is also in go mode at this point in time. I think he has his necessary Ganon Tower or Turtle Rock key. So as soon as Dr. Bob finishes up Eastern right now, he will be in go mode.
Meanwhile, Ganon talking burritos today.
Do you fancy yourself to be a spicy barbacoa burrito?
You know what? Why not? Sure. I am a burrito person. I like to go out of my way to get frozen burritos every time I'm at the grocery store.
See, and here I thought the Ganon would be a pork carnitas burrito myself. All right, Alucard on his vitreous fight, taking his frustration out. So Alucard will be making a beeline up to get his bow. He still has both Eastern Palace and Pod to complete, but will be able to complete them at this point in time.
Swerb getting the torch glitch. If I remember right, it takes only 12 hits silverless, right?
As with the Tempered Sword, yes, it is 12. And he's doing it very efficiently. He hasn't missed anything yet. Where did he say the silvers were? Did he say in his tower?
It might have
Ganon's
been.
tower.
I'm not quite sure. It might have said Light World.
Chat's confirming, says silvers in Ganon's tower, so...
Ah, okay. It's gotta be close. Maybe one or two. There
it is.
He will soon walk through the door and finish his run.
And yes, Swerb is the first not done in the SRL channel. Yes, all runners do know that he is done, so everyone knows now has that extra pressure on them. And that was an amazing run. Swerb finishes in first place in 1 hour, 34 minutes, and 38 seconds. My goodness, that was an amazing run by Swerb. Ladies and gentlemen, give him a GG there.
I think that deserves more than a GG.
Yep, and Swerb getting set up. Meanwhile, Alucard is... What is Alucard doing? Oh no, Alucard. Didn't he already... He already beat this place. Why... Alucard, why are you back?
I think he went into Spike Cave and got his other Turtle Rock key.
And he left. I think he realizes he's in go mode now.
Man, this could be a squeaker if we're not careful on our lower racers.
Hang on, I need to wait for him to pause the menu again. I think I know what Alucard's doing, but I want to double check before I say anything. Teraunce going through here. He has his bow and mirror, and he's going to clear out Eastern. Small key to Desert Palace for Alucard. Yeah, I think he's out of pod keys.
Have we found all 6 yet?
No, we found 5 of 6.
That would be a problem.
So Bob is finishing up Turtle Rock here, and he knows he can go mode it. So Dr. Bob in good shape at this point in time in this particular race. Teraunce, this will be his 3rd crystal once he beats Eastern Palace. And Alucard does open this last trolley key door, so we'll see what's in the vanilla big key location. It's just a heart container.
Can't say I'm surprised by that.
Oh, he's also going to do Mimic Cave. Oh, no. And this is all because he burned all of his keys going through. He still needs one more key to be able to complete the dungeon.
And evidently on our pedestal today, we had just a big 20, it seems.
Couch cash. Move along.
Ooh. There's another Helmosaur I hate dealing with. That one right there at the end of that first laser bridge before you go into this door. It always knocks... I always seem to fall off the edge in that room. Hate it.
Oh, absolutely. All right, Dr. Bob's getting ready for his Trinex fight. This will be his 7th crystal as well. All right, so Alucard still running around.
Meanwhile, Swerb has joined us now. Swerb, congratulations and welcome.
Yo, thanks. How's it going?
How do you feel about that seed? My goodness.
It's a good question. Obviously, I feel pretty good. I got pretty lucky, I think, with the mitts and pod. Like, holy cow. I felt pretty bad after the moth death. I was like a little, not tilted, but I was like, I don't know, I was just upset. Especially because like I saw it coming and he must have had like one more hit left on him. But like I was like, oh, I'm like screwed if this last slash doesn't kill him, because I saw like the spikes coming and he was about to shoot his like lasers in a pattern that like I wasn't gonna be able to dodge.
Yeah, dying to moth is always a tough place to die, because by then you're out of magic.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I had some trouble getting back to him and stuff. But yeah, that was an interesting seed.
When you entered Go mode, did you ever feel like you were behind? Or felt like it was maybe too good to be true?
I didn't feel like I was behind necessarily, but I was like I knew there was a chance I was behind just because of like mistakes I'd made, like the moth death and like I went into Eastern early because I was starting to get a little worried. Like obviously I knew like the bomb or the Mire was required to get the bow up on Spectacle Rock, and I was starting to get a little worried. I was like, man, what if like something in Eastern is like if blocking the Mire or the Mire is in there? So I went there early, and then it just ended up being like a waste of time. So there's like a bunch of little things there. Also, it was like not required to enter any pendant dungeon at all, actually, because I don't think the Front of Thieves Sound or Hera had anything required. But those were like minor things that probably like everyone did anyway.
I mean, pretty much everyone did that. There was kind of an interesting point in time when both you and Alucard pulled Quake. You guys both went to Ice Palace, but Dr. Bob ended up going down to and got the King's Tomb and got Ether, and then went to Misery Mire immediately, and then he pulled the Mirror from Misery Mire. We're like, oh, well, we just have a race now. But then you almost immediately went there as well.
Yeah, I made sure. I've been putting off Ice Palace a little too much lately, so I went there early. Like once I got a lot of the other things out of the way, and I had like the big key, I had a spare small key for it, Fire Rod. Like when did Ice Palace? And then I realized I was like, oh, I could go to King's Tomb. I don't remember what I was gonna do, but then I realized I could do King's Tomb. I think I was gonna go into like Turtle Rock early or something. And I was like, wait, let's do King's Tomb first, and then that worked out because I ended up having like Ether. And so I was like, well, I still need one more small key for Turtle Rock, so let's do Mire first. And like I found like a Mire and like pretty much like everything I needed, and I like checked my items. I forgot to grab the bridge item in Mire, which is kind of funny. Because I intended to hookshot over to it and then fall in the pit to like on my way basically to the basement. And I just totally forgot because I was just like in such a hurry, which is why I like mirrored right afterwards to check which dungeon in the light world was the pendant, because I knew I had the maps for both of them, but I hadn't checked yet. And I was like, hopefully, I was like, if Eastern is the remaining crystal, I'm in go mode, but if not, I better go back in and check that chest, and I need to find like the big key for Hera.
And that was kind of one of our questions, because we knew kind of where everything was and we were in no mode, but we realized that we hadn't had a ton of map checks this run, and we didn't know what you guys knew with that last crystal or last pendant. So we were kind of questioning that ourselves here.
Yeah, I was like midway, like about to Vitreous is like when I realized I'd missed that chest, and I was like, oh man, should I just double back for it now? And then I was like, I like thought about it real quick, and I was like, well, actually no, if Eastern, like I realized if Eastern was remaining crystal, like I didn't need anything else to finish the game. And so I was like, well, let's just finish up this dungeon and then I'll check. And so I feel like I got a little lucky there because, yeah.
Well, and here's something that might be even more of a gut punch. Can you, if you can imagine, you might have even had a faster time if you would have checked Bob's torch. Apparently that's where the silvers were.
That's funny.
Yeah, with this seed, I'm not shocked.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, Ganon told me they were in his tower, and that doesn't really come as a surprise, because it's like the most likely place for them to be, especially if you haven't found them yet, like at that point in the game. But it's obviously not worth looking. Like, yeah, if you know it's like on the torch, I would probably go grab them, but I'm like, nope, I just need to go.
Either on the either on the torch or the one of the two chests on the right.
Yeah, but the odds of it being like in one of those three compared to like the rest of the tower are too low to be worth the risk. Like I'll check the 4 I checked on the way up just because like they're basically along the way.
Makes perfect sense.
Which I was a little worried because I am like kind of rusty. I haven't been playing this very much outside of these like tournament matches, so like my Silver's Ganon was like a little scary.
Certainly far
like,
better than me.
Especially at the end. At the end, it was like a really close call on that last hit. Like I just barely dodged his fire bat.
I'm looking at this collection rate on your screen, and 129. That's impressive.
Yeah, it's like super low.
Well, for any Keysanity seed, I mean, that's just insane. I mean, sub 2 hours is nice for Keysanity. Is this a? It didn't seem like it was a personal record for you, according to the SRL, but pretty good time, all things considered, for you.
No, this should be a PB. I think it's just like, I think it's because the goal is set to with all the extra information about the match in there right now. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I've finished Keysanity faster than this. I want to say like 140, probably like 10 minutes slower is my fastest before this one, I think.
And of course, we have Willard Bradley in chat saying, okay, now that you've won, you can hand him back the spoiler log.
Oh, Willard, you kidder, you.
So yeah, you are, I mean, there's no getting around it. You kind of made every right call at the exact right time. Your opponent, Teraunce, is in Ice Palace right now, has 3 crystals done. This will be his 4th. Dr. Bob's in Aga right now, and Alucard is, looks like going through pod, hoping to find his last pod key, because he opened up all the treasure chests and didn't hammer you up.
Yeah, I was actually really happy that the the key in Zora's River ended up being a pod key when I went back for it. Because I knew I was going to need one more. But there was like a small key there. Like once I got the Mire, I mean, I guess I was already fine by the time I had the Mire because I already picked up the Zora key. But I knew that there was like small keys there, and on each island, like the floating island and the lake island. So I was like, well, once I find the Mire, hopefully like one of those has to be a pod key, right? Because I knew I was going to need to pick up one since I spent the 3 I had exploring pod.
Well, you did just about everything right there. You know, not many things to shave off your time. I mean, maybe, you know, Mothula, it looked like when you went back to Mothula, it was for a vengeance. There was one thing. Did you intentionally get grabbed by the Wall Master in order to pick up more magic?
Yeah, because I missed I missed the fire rod shot, and I basically, like, my first time on my way back to Moth, I missed a couple fire rod shots. I didn't have enough magic to light all the torches. I only had like 2 shots left, because I just screwed up. And so I was like, I killed all the Gibdas hoping one of them would drop a magic by some chance, and it didn't happen. So I was like, well, I better just get grabbed and reset because I need more magic. And normally, yeah, my Moth, I don't know, like if I at least have Master Sword, I'm not generally too worried about Mothula, which is why I was like willing to go in there with like 6 hearts or whatever I had. But I just played it pretty poorly. But yeah, overall, like I said, I said in IRC, I feel like I got really lucky and just like you guys said, like making all the right calls and just kind of going where I needed to go.
Oh, and Dr. Bob takes a death to Ganon.
How unfortunate. He was on 4th phase, too.
That's really unfortunate. But, Swerb, any last-minute thoughts as we're wrapping this up?
No, not really. I just want to thank you guys for doing commentary. It's always much appreciated. Along with who do we got doing the tracking?
We have
Sin
and
and Sabotender, and then Death Star doing the restream. So, thanks to everybody working behind the scenes. It was a lot. But yeah, I'll let you guys get back to this.
Thanks for coming on and talking a little bit with us.
Yeah, of course, anytime. Have a good one.
ladies and gentlemen, that's Swerb.
Sorry, hold on. One more person to thank. Thanks to Willard J. Bradley for just being, I guess. And also, I'm gonna plug, he's doing a race in like an hour. I'm gonna be doing commentary, so I'm gonna plug that if you're looking for some more randomizer action. But alright, thanks. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's all right. Ladies and gentlemen, Swerb. You can hear him later tonight. I just want to double check. That is actually on Speed Gaming 2 at 9:30 Eastern. So yeah, that'll be coming up. Willard J. Bradley and versus Oyster SA, and then Kyong92 versus Genja. That's going to be kind of a hype race. I think everyone's 2-1 in that one, so everyone's still playing for their lives there. And it looks like Dr. Bob did just finish killing the big pig. And he finishes with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 8 seconds. GG, Dr. Bob. We see Alucard making his way up Ganon's tower now. Finally making the right calls. The last pod key was in pod. It was unfortunately just right there, so he was checking everywhere for it, and it was right where it needed to be. And joining us now is DoctorBobtastic.
Hot
and C.
dang. Don't even care that I died to Ganon. That's like a 3-minute PB for this category, and I'm okay with that.
What a seed, eh? Congratulations.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Let's see. Could you tell I was really happy I found them silver arrows?
Yeah. I mean, you're the only one that's gone down there. Teraunce is still clearing out some dungeons. That's why we check those first few locations sometimes. It could be there, and you found it.
Yeah, I was like, you know, if it's there, it'll save me so much time, because I'm just not good at Silverless Ganon. If anybody saw what I was doing before the race, yeah. No, it was not great. But yeah, I'm a little surprised that I managed to actually, technically win my race. I don't even care that somebody else finished 14 minutes before me. This was great.
I was definitely. I mean, we thought it might be a jet seed pretty early because Kakariko was just stacked.
And then you see the bow on the thing, and you're like, "Oh, well, we'll get the mirror soon." No. That's how he's tucked away in Misery Mire.
And we'd be remiss if we forgot to mention that the boots were in Link's house.
Oh, there was that, yeah. This is the first time in a tournament race that I haven't done go to Houlihan and then walk out of Link's house and don't back in. And because I'm gonna save and quit there eventually, I figure I'll save myself some time. But you know what? I was like, you know what? If that turns out to be something useful, I'm gonna feel real dumb. And so I did it, and I would have felt dumb.
To be fair, there's always that one location that we always like to have in the back of our mind, and then when it's important, we just forget about it.
Yeah.
So it felt like there for a while, because while everyone else was going to dungeons as quickly as they could, and Swerb and Alucard both kind of made a beeline for Ice Palace as soon as they could, you opted to check those overworld locations. So you were the first one in Misery Mire, actually, because you found Ether and King's Tomb.
Right.
And then it felt like you just kind of avoided Ice Palace. Was there a reason behind that, or am I misinterpreting that?
Well, I wasn't actually trying to avoid Ice Palace. I just wanted to make sure that Ice Palace was that if I found, say, Pod Big Key somewhere along the way, I could do Eastern and Pod and get those out of the way together. And I was like, that would be really cool. Let's see if we can find that in some of these locations, because, like, Bombo's tablet has trolled me in the past, and I needed to make sure that wasn't a thing. And other things like that. And then I was like, okay. I stopped short of checking the first chest in Swamp. I considered that, but I was like, all right, now let's do Ice Palace. Maybe we'll pick up some nice stuff there. I don't even have to bomb jump. This is going to be pretty good. And there we go.
Yeah, and it was, I mean, you made a lot of good plays throughout the entire thing. You know, that as soon as you made the Ice Palace play, we were like, okay, Bob's going to do it. What was, God, there was another troll that we were just kind of waiting to see if you would do it or not. And I don't remember, but
I actually, one thing I did different this time, and I don't know if you guys thought it was cool. I did Hyrule Castle sort of in reverse order than I normally do. I went to the Dark Escape Room and died there, because I figure it's easier to die there. And then I went to Agate Tower, where the flippers were, which felt good. And then I went down into the basement. Let's see, what else? There was Mothula. I was clenching real hard with Mothula, because I was at half a heart when it finished, but it did it, and I was happy. No, it was Castle Tower Key on the floating island, and I was like, nah.
well, and your opponent, Alucard, we felt so bad for him because he I mean, Mire trolled him for a while, and Ether trolled him for a while because of King's Tomb, because you know, a lot of people route that together with Graveyard Ledge. So if you don't have the Mire, you don't even think about going over there.
So here was my King's Tomb realization. You ready?
Yeah, sure.
So here's the thing. In this seed, King's Tomb was like Sphere 3 or something, because you found 5 pod keys with like only a very small amount of equipment. And that included the one on Mothula, because you found the fire rod so early. And so I was like, okay, there has to be something in one of the pod areas that's locked by 5 keys, which is either a big key chest, Harmless Hellway, or the Dark Maze, which is where the Titan Spits were. So I was like, oh, okay, King's Tomb. That's a thing. We need to do that.
And I mean, it played out because, yeah, that Titan Smith ended up being like kind of a bottleneck. As soon as everyone got that, then the world started opening up at that point in time. Because, I mean, Kakariko was stacked with progression. You got the flute there in Kakariko, and it was just one of those races where, I mean, it's real easy to get a PB. I mean, sub 2 hours. So yeah.
Yeah. I suppose if I'd have gone to Ice Palace a little earlier, I'd have been a little happier with this seed. But at least I didn't have to go to Ice Tea Room.
This is true.
I mean, oh, hey, that's Dark Palace, Big Key, and Quake. Wasn't that what I was looking for? Okay, we're done here.
I'm done. That's it. Let's go.
Though I did check some things looking for those silver arrows, and I just happened to find them on the last place I was gonna go out of the way for. I felt real good. I was like, what? Alright, Alu's done. Very nice.
Yep, Alu finishes with an official SRL time of 2 hours and 15 seconds.
Alright.
Well done and GG to him.
Whew.
Adrenaline still coming down a little bit there, Doc?
Little bit. I think without the death, I might have had like sub 150 or real close.
I mean, you were real close. You ran a great race. Swerb just kind of made all the right calls, but I mean, your race was against Alucard, so you win. And for Pride, the commentator showdown.
Yeah.
So happy.
I billed it as Swag Duck versus Lincoln Dark.
Oh God.
It was the best. My audio wasn't on when I got Dead Rock, did it? Was it?
I don't know at all.
Yeah,
And
you would have noticed. You would have noticed.
and GG
I played
Alucard.
the song.
GG.
Wow, that was a race, Alu. That was a race.
It was a quick one, but now that's 2 in a row I've forgotten a pretty obvious location. Feels bad, man.
So how about that King's Tomb, huh?
Yep. Last time I skipped Paradox Cave. This time I skipped King's Tomb. What will it be next? Oh, but it was a good seed. It was like a really generous seed. I really actually enjoyed playing it for the most part.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Well, and I feel bad for you, Alucard, because you had burned all of your pod keys, you were kind of searching around, where's that last pod key? And of course it was in pod.
Yep. I meant to actually take the portal and check that location, but then I was thinking about some other locations and I forgot, and I was like, all right, we'll come back to this later.
Oh, so there was one on the Bowlock section?
Yep.
Okay. I was just happy I got that hamburger jump thing.
Yeah, I may have to take some inspiration from this match and learn how to do it.
Yeah, it was kind of neck and neck, and Alucard, you were kind of ahead for a little bit, checking some locations, and then kind of right at the same time, Bob found Ether when you found Quake. So you kind of went in two separate directions, Alucard. You went to Turtle Rock, and Bob went to Misery Mire. Turtle Rock ended up having not a ton of much of anything, and then Bob found Mire, and it's like, oh well, this changes things.
Yeah, and then I ended up like quadruple dipping T-Rock because of not finding Ether, which really sucked. Because if I went to Mire, I actually would have had all the T-Rock keys.
Wow. So I was very confused when I picked up the Mire, actually, because I had one key to Mire, and that place requires all three, and I was like, where are those other Mire keys? And I then proceeded to pick up one in Mire, and then one's in the Desert Big Chest, and I was like, oh, okay, now things make sense again.
Things don't make sense. This is Keysanity. Things are designed to not make sense, ever.
There is that. Yeah, but it was a well done race, and I'm sure you did an excellent job with all your execution and all that mess.
No, it was a fun seed. I actually enjoyed playing it either way. It's just a shame.
I also luck-sacked that the Tempered Sword was in the Freezor room right above Quake.
Oh, was Ice like one of your last dungeons?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Quake was my go mode.
Oh wow, nice. Because I know there was like a pod big key in Ice as well.
Yeah, I got that one first, and then I got the Quake.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah, as soon as that ended up happening, as soon as we saw Bob heading to ice and Alu, you were still kind of wandering around a little bit. We're like, well, this is going to be over fast.
And then I also luck-sacked that the silvers were on the torch in Ganon's tower, and I just happened to check it.
Oh wow, nice. That's cool.
Yeah, that's a lesson learned. I think Dr. Bob showed me that there is value in checking those first few chest locations if you don't have silvers, because the amount of time it can save you on Ganon is just obscene.
I mean, it depends on how many places you've checked already. Like, if there's like a ton of places left, the probability is not that high, so you're not gonna. Your expected time save is not that high, but I checked quite a few locations at that point.
Yeah, depending on your execution, it can save you like anywhere between 45 seconds and like a minute and a half or something. Like it's substantial. So that was a good find.
I was not happy with my Aga 2 fight. That was garbage.
He was given some weird patterns. I didn't have a good Aga 2 either.
So I gotta know, was there any like commentators trash talking ahead of this between the two of you? Because you're two of you are some of the most recognized names here in the commentator community anyway.
I mean, I came into a stream the other day and was like, hey, you, me, we're doing this. But that was about it.
Yeah, I don't think we really railed on each other or anything.
I mean, maybe we should just make sort of a big deal out of it. Just be like, this Wednesday, come see the battle of the microphones.
I tried to call it the commentator bowl, but I don't think anyone else really picked up on that, so that died.
At least it'll be joyous towards us.
Yeah. How about them 4-second boots? That's
Yeah.
I know.
It was more like a minute or so boots for me because hula hands, but
If I remember right, Teraunce waited 20 minutes to get his boots, actually.
Whoa, so he like started at Sanctuary?
Yeah.
he might have done the thing I do, which is not check Link's house until I save and quit there.
Fair.
But I didn't do it this time because I was like, I think I've cured myself of that.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think it's necessarily wrong. It's just a gamble.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong or right in this particular game because it's all a gamble, and sometimes you just gotta take a gamble.
I enjoyed that match, and I enjoyed the seed. It was great, and I feel good about my time because, well, it's the best time I've ever gotten. So there you go.
You sound ready for another one.
Congratulations.
Maybe. If I didn't have something else I was doing later tonight, I would. But yeah. But I'm ready to do my last match. Try to go for that winning record.
See,
Yeah,
and
make it happen.
And my match is tomorrow night, so it doesn't matter if I win or lose. I want to face whoever has the same record of you two, because I want my own commentators pool.
Seems good. We did have the theory we did have the idea earlier that we should just like race with, like make VODs for our race and then just commentate our own race. But then we decided, nah.
I would be too hard on myself, I think. I would just trash. It's like, what the heck is he thinking?
Yeah, it'd be like, look at this dumb guy, Alucard2004, skipping King's Tomb. Who does he think he is?
Not to mention the comments might end up being flooded with rigged. But we don't want that, honest.
Yeah, we would commentate on something that happens, like, in the future. That would be hard, like, knowing where things are.
Yeah. So yeah, 144 items. That's actually really, really good.
Swerb had under 130.
Wow.
I am not surprised because like doing the hammer jump and, you know, like basically everything kind of fell into place in this one because like you didn't really have to do pendants.
Yeah.
Maybe step into thieves. I don't even remember if
I did step into Thieves Town and get the book in there.
Book.
But I don't think the book was important. I think there was a key to Ice Palace or something on the Ether tablet.
Yeah, the book seemed like a bit of a red herring since Ether led to only, I believe, some money.
Yeah, and then the Ganon's Tower key was on Bombo's tablet. I remember that.
That was at Landmola's. So it gave me some peace of mind to get the book early and go to Landmola's and get the book for G Tower.
I don't think we actually ever saw the Bombo's tablet.
No, I checked it.
I did the Bombo's tablet.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we checked
No,
it.
it's a
but it was
Ganon's
whole lot
Tower
of nothing.
small key is what I meant. It was Ganon's Tower small key on Bombo's tablet. The Ganon's Tower big key was on Landmola's, yes.
I think, I want to say, oh no, it was Spike Cave that was T-Rock smoking. Yeah,
Yep.
I think you're right about the Ether tablet.
Yeah, that was another thing that kept me away from Ice Palace, is I know that in order to beat it, they want you to have big key and at least one small key. So once I found that, I was like, oh, okay, let's put that more in the front of our mind.
I think I had both of those pretty early, and I was just lacking mitts. And I was like, the moment I get mitts, I'm going to ice. And the ice was actually loaded with all sorts of goodies.
Yeah.
Ice was great.
Were you surprised at all by the location of the Titan's mitts?
I mean, I want to say it was one of the last places. I think it might have been the last place I could check before I would be looking for things to do. Like that I missed or something. Like I want to say it was actually the last location. So I wasn't that surprised because I was like, I really need something to progress here, please.
As I was saying before, I was like, I found 5 pod small keys. Something has to be in pod at this point.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Feels real good. And sorry about that Ether tablet.
I was
Or
hoping
not Ether
for-
tablet, Ether medallion. Words. I know how to words.
I mean,
It's okay.
it is what it is.
We're all people. We trip over our words all the time.
These things happen. It's just a bummer that I did this twice in a row. That's the bummer for me. It's like, I'm like, alright, we're gonna do this right. We're not gonna make a big mistake like this. And then it happened again. So hopefully for my final match, things will go a lot better.
Yeah, so in the beautiful aesthetics department, by the way, 144 out of 216 is exactly 2/3. That's all I'm saying.
Half-Life 3 confirmed?
Yes.
No.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I take it back!
So, how's Teraunce doing? I haven't been watching the stream.
He now has cleared Turtle Rock, and I believe he has his Ganon Tower key, so I believe he's going over to Ganon's Tower now. He just beat Trinex.
I'm guessing I'm the only one who cleared Hera. Because of the magic bat glitch. I was like, this is pretty improbable, but I'm gonna go do it because I'm running out of places
wow.
to do.
Yeah, I never found that big key.
Well,
Because
it
I
was
never
at-
found the powder,
Yeah, you
which
never
makes
found
me
the
very
powder.
sad.
Well, I mean, there was that. I think, Aloe, you were the only one that did the right side of Desert Palace because you were still looking for everything. So, I mean, there were a lot of places that I think you're the only one.
I did
that
right side desert.
Did you?
Yeah, as soon as I found the small key, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go do that. Oh, that's what the key was on the floating island.
That you're right.
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
what it was.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the castle tower was on the Lake Hylia island.
Yep. Did everybody get flippers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
okay. Because I was thinking that might not be required.
Well, and that, I mean, I think logically it was required for Ice Palace, but
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
Logically, it was required to get the fire rod.
Yep, but all of that could happen without it.
Yeah. The only issue that you really needed the flippers for was there was a pod key on the Zor ledge.
True.
And unless you know how to do the boot water walking, which I do not, yeah. You needed that. Yeah, and the swamp key was on the right side of Ganon's tower first couple chests.
That is particularly evil.
Oh, and you got the silvers, nice.
Well, it was nice in a way, because, I mean, if I found Swamp Small Key, that's where I was going next.
Yeah. I was doing a lot of overworld shenanigans before I went to Ice Palace, but I did stop short of checking the first chest in Swamp.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, I'm gonna let this be the last thing I have to do. And if it's vanilla or something, I guess I just go in. Gotta look for that pod key.
Well, while we are here and we have some time to kill, let's go ahead and go over the schedule for the rest of the evening.
Ooh, it's a good one. There's a lot of
Oh
stuff
man,
happening.
it's packed. It is a jam-packed schedule. Let me see, 8 o'clock Eastern. So going on right now over on ALTTPR 3, we have another doubleheader: the Echoes versus Runner Watcher, and then Boyne versus Yume Tsubasa. That's going on, and those guys are all at 2 and 1, so they're all still playing for their tournament lives. At 9 o'clock Eastern, right here on ALTTPR 2, we're going to have Karnath FD versus Fant, and they are also 2 and 1, so they're playing for their tournament lives. Then at 9:30 Eastern, as mentioned earlier by Swerb, plugging his own commentary, Willard J. Bradley versus Oyster SA and Kyong92 versus Genja23. They are all 2 and 1, so playing for their tournament lives. And then at 10 o'clock Eastern, over on Speed Gaming the Original, Cross Product v Troopster, and they are 3 and 0, so they're playing to stay undefeated. And then with them is also Walter 4 versus Ridley Dragon, and they're 1 and 2, so they'll just be adding some extra knowledge there for us. But Cross Product and Troopster has really impressed a lot of people. I commentated his last race, and he's been amazing so far. He really came out of nowhere.
Sounds like that's going to be a marquee matchup coming up.
Absolutely. We have a lot of, such a stacked Wednesday going on, and then, I'm playing tomorrow, so I'm going to get my butt whooped.
Well, at least you're self-aware of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, do you guys, Alucard, Dr. Bob, do you guys have anything to plug while we're waiting on Teraunce to finish up here?
Not really. Just thank you guys for commentating the race. Thanks to our awesome trackers, and GG's everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks to the restreamer here, who I think is Death Star. Is that who's doing the restream?
Yep, Death Star. Death Star got us going early. I got the ping about 50 minutes before the race and thought I was behind.
Yeah, that's the preparation and dedication. Props to Death Star.
You're a poet and didn't even know it.
Exactly.
Also, shout out to Jixon and Sabatender for doing our tracking for us, doing all the work behind the scenes.
Yeah, way to go, man. Way to go, guys. You made us look good. And I guess if we're thanking people, you know what? Thanks for letting me be co-pilot today, Vitasia.
Hey, the crazy dude, anytime. You did absolutely fantastic. Big shout out again to the crazy dude as well. Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
right, so I'm gonna let you guys close this out. But thank you so much for letting us show off our talents here.
Talents
And,
in quotation marks. We're
yeah.
we're all right there.
You heard my air quotes. And thank you all so much, and I'll see you later.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Take care, guys.
All right, thank you so much, DoctorBobtastic and Alucard2004, as well as Swerb and Teraunce. We'll give the runners one more shout out. If you guys haven't followed them yet on Twitch, what are you doing with your life? Give them a follow. They definitely deserve it and are very entertaining as well. All right, we have Teraunce finishing off. He's in the torch room right now. So, dude, let's talk for a second.
What's up?
What was your favorite part of this scene?
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I think it was finding something like boots in the first chest.
That's fair. That was very entertaining. I'll give you that. I thought that Flippers in that first treasure chest was going to troll us a whole lot more than it did.
That was a very fair assumption.
Oh, and Teraunce trying to use the magic powder glitch to get this anti-fairy.
This is a very tricky big glitch to pull off, but it's not that difficult.
No, and he got it. Well done, Teraunce there. That's swag. I'll say that was swag. Ooh, got worried for Teraunce there for a second because he kind of got stuck there. I was hoping he wouldn't have to mirror out. Without a doubt, though, that bottleneck in Pod for the Titan's mitts, I mean, as soon as you got those, the race opened up wide open.
Teraunce on his way to Aghanim to finish this one off. giving him a bit of a tough time.
A little bit. Has a nice setup here, though.
Oh, I think that would have done it. There, he's got it.
Yep, he's got it. 3.5 hearts, but I think he's got some potions. And keep in mind, Teraunce does also have silvers.
Looking like he's making his way down to maybe get the tree fairy, or he's headed to the potion shop.
He's headed to the potion shop. He's going to flute away. Yep. And empties his green goo, so he'll have 2 bottles for blue goo.
Man, he had that all the way from the start of the race? That's impressive.
Yeah, I know, right? And he's turning in his mushroom for, what was it? A compass? Arrow
I
upgrade?
think it was a key to Turtle Rock.
Getting his heart refills, and then he's going to pick up 2 bottles of blue goo, and then he will be back to Ganon. All right, everyone, let's go ahead and give our affection and our hope and dreams to Teraunce. Come on, you can do it. Let's get the big pig down.
Yeah, cheer him on, chat.
All right, so he is already on this phase 3. And with silvers, this is going to be relatively fast for this phase 4.
Doesn't bother with the torch glitch, but with half magic and 2 blue potions, why not? Almost fell off.
And there it is. Teraunce beats the big pig.
Yeah, well done. Soon he will be walking through that door.
We're gonna see if Teraunce is gonna be available for a quick second.
Meanwhile,
Won't
he
have a ton of
finishes. Meanwhile, he finishes with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 29 minutes, and 26 seconds. GG's to him.
Hello, and welcome.
Hello. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's all right, Terrence. Welcome, and GG. How you feeling after that seed?
This is the first time I've gotten to do an interview in the 4 weeks I've raced. So, pretty accomplished. I think that's also a new PB. If only just barely.
A PB's a PB. You'll take it any way you can, right?
Uh-huh. I knew I was going to lose, although I didn't expect to lose by that much, because I did pretty good. I was basically kind of, those last ones, I knew I was in go mode, so I was kind of just getting what was along the way, and that sort of stuff. Or trying to. What wasn't too far out of the way. If I hadn't found silvers on that torch, I probably would have, the GT torch, or Bob's torch, I probably would have checked the Stalfos Swerb on the left and then gone up and checked those. And probably made an attempt at silverless. First ever silverless. I'm not very good at silverless. I've tried it before. I can't get hits in.
How do you feel about Boots in Link's house?
Well, I wish I had gotten to Link's house earlier, but I think I ran well even without the boots initially. Why, was I the only one to not get boots early?
No, you weren't. Or rather, yes, you were. You did not have boots until 20 minutes later.
After everyone else had them.
Correct.
Yep. That contributes a little bit.
I mean, I had flute and all that sort of stuff. There wasn't any need for me to go back to Link's house. Okay, one of the first chests of Kakariko. Flute. Okay, I'm just gonna use that movement. Expect boots are gonna be somewhere crazy.
But nope, they were right there. You just had to put on your shoes to get out and see the world.
Uh-huh. I just tend to not check Link's house first. I tend to do the CAC route first. Link's house I normally go to after I've done everything around with Flute. It's just kind of, hey, I have Flute. Why am I going to stop off at Link's house to, for one item when I can go, down South Shore and all that sort of stuff? I'll check Link's house when I get a sword or something and go up to the castle. Could have been worse. I still managed to finish in under 2.5 hours.
Yeah, just barely. Congratulations on that.
And I do hate to be the one to cut this off, but we do have another match that we have to get set up for here in the next 20 minutes or so. So any final thoughts here, Terrence?
It led me astray in a few spots, but at least I never really had to dip into any pendant dungeons besides Thieves Town, which didn't really have much. I'm glad of that. That saved me a lot of time. But okay, although I'm not sure they're gonna actually start streaming until 5 minutes before. But hey.
Yeah, I think one of our restreamers that is doing the next one is new, so we're getting a lot of back end stuff set up when they require the channel usage. So,
thanks for coming on with us.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just glad I finally got done in time for once.
All right, everyone, that's GG to Terrence. Give them a like or a follow, I guess we don't like on Twitch, but give them a follow here on Twitch. And that should do it for the rest of us here at Randomizer. This is Vitasia.
And I'm the Crazy Dude.
All right, and we will see you at the later matches. Have a good one, everyone.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.